Hey friends, it's me, Shane. I know I said the last episode of Seminary Dropout had been published for this year, but this isn't really an episode. I just wanted to take some time just to talk to you about the state of Seminary Dropout right now. My original intention was to pick Seminary Dropout back up in January, which is now just a few days away. Some of you may remember I did the same thing last year, but then wound up not publishing until April. So in the last few weeks, I've come to a crossroads in deciding what to do about Seminary Dropout. If you benefit from Seminary Dropout, from the content of it, which I assume you do if you're listening to this, then don't worry. I'm not planning on ending the show, but I do have to make some changes. I'll talk about what those changes are shortly, but first I want to talk about why. The first reason is that Seminary Dropout is really time intensive. I envy those people who have a podcast where they just meet up and talk with a friend or something like that, and they just turn on the microphone and go without any preparation. Most of you probably know that the majority of the guests on Seminary Dropout are authors, and for all of those interviews, I have read, if not the entire book, a good portion of it, enough to have an intelligent conversation about it. At least I think so. So there's, for every episode of Seminary Dropout, for every hour of Seminary Dropout, there's several hours behind that hour in preparation. So it takes a lot of time. So the second reason why we're making some changes is because of the first reason. Because Seminary Dropout is so time sensitive, it takes away time either from my working my day job, which pays the bills, or spending time with my family and friends. And I'm a little worn out, and I need to make strides in making content creation more of where I receive my general income, so I don't have to do it and another job together. Now, this isn't going to happen overnight or even that soon, really, and I'm okay with that. But I do need to make progress toward it. So let's talk about what those changes are going to be in Seminary Dropout. A lot of you know that a few years ago, I started a Patreon account for Seminary Dropout. Real quick, for those who don't know what Patreon is, it's a platform for people to contribute to projects on a regular basis. So for Seminary Dropout, for instance, you can sign up and give as little as 25 cents an episode, which most months would come out to $1 an episode, or $1 a month. It's kind of like Kickstarter, but it's not for one big thing. It's ongoing, and I like it for that reason. Patreon's been a really good thing for Seminary Dropout. Right now, the pledges add up to $66 per episode, or $264 per month, and that's when no pledges have been declined. Sometimes the credit cards get charged and they come back declined for whatever reason. So, $66 per episode. As you can see, I'm not about to quit my day job to live on that, but it helps recuperate some of the cost and compensate me a little bit for the time as well. So you're probably familiar with people starting Kickstarter campaigns to fund a new season of their podcast. You've probably heard of that model out there. While that's a good option for a lot of people, I've chosen not to do that for a few reasons. One, Seminary Dropout's never been organized into seasons. For good or bad, Seminary Dropout has always been organized just by episode number, and it just keeps going and going. It doesn't start over on a new season. That's why we're at episode, 180 or something like that now. One of the other reason is that the way that Kickstarter works is that if the goal isn't met, the creator doesn't get anything. So if you don't reach the goal, it just goes away, and that's it. The third reason I'm not doing a Kickstarter is because I already have a Patreon account established that I'd really like to keep working on. It just makes more sense that way. So you may have guessed, I want to use Patreon to fund the next year of Seminary Dropout, or just the next bit of time for Seminary Dropout. So here's how it's going to work. I'm setting a goal of raising the dollar per episode amount from $66, where we are right now, to $100 per episode. And when we reach that goal, then I'll resume Seminary Dropout for 2018. So here's what that could look like. We could get 34 new donors that could pledge 25 cents per episode, which honestly would be my preference. I'd rather have a lot of small donors than a few large ones. So 34 donors could just give 25 cents per episode, or what comes out to $1 a month, assuming that every week an episode comes out. I think that's really doable, by the way. Or one person could pledge $34 per episode, and we can meet that goal. Now, that's just technically possible. I don't expect that to happen or necessarily want that to happen. Realistically, it's most likely going to be somewhere in between those two scenarios. Some people are going to give 25 cents, some $1, and so on and so forth. So I want to say to those who are already patrons, thank you. You've been a huge blessing to me and an encouragement, and it's been wonderful having you in my life. So here it is. If you want to become a patron, and if you want to support the next year of Seminary Dropout, go to supportseminarydropout.com. supportseminarydropout.com, all one word. It'll take you to my Patreon account, and just sign up there. If you want to see how we're making progress toward that $100 goal, you can also go to that website, supportseminarydropout.com. The amount raised will be shown right on the front page there. It'll tell you how many dollars are pledged per episode there. Now, I want you to know that I thought a lot about making this decision on how to move forward. And honestly, I've had a lot of fear and hesitation about it. And I want to be honest about that. Honestly, one of my fears was that it might feel to you as the listener as if I'm holding the podcast hostage until you gave money. And all I can say is, please know that's not my intention. Like I said before, just like others have done Kickstarter campaigns and how radio stations do pledge drives, things have to be paid for somehow. And I just felt like this was the best way. My second fear is simply that we'll just fail to meet this goal. I don't think that's going to happen. But if it does, then I need to take that as a sign that Seminary Dropouts run its course and did a lot of good things for a while, but just not serving a purpose in people's lives anymore. I don't think that's true. It seems like from the feedback that I get, that people are saying otherwise, that it is something valuable for people. So it's time for Seminary Dropout to make strides to stand on its own two legs. And so that's kind of why I'm doing this. If you have questions about that, please let me know. You can hit me up on Twitter or my Facebook page or my email address, shane@shaneblackshear.com. I would love to get your feedback if you have any thoughts on this. But otherwise, I would just encourage you. Thanks for taking the time. If you want to become a patron today and fund Seminary Dropout into 2018, go to supportseminarydropout.com and pledge today. Thank you.